Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, do us a favour at the start of this stream then. Smash that like on X. Give us a massive like spike. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes. Also, give us a share around if you could. That'd be amazing. Somewhere on X, maybe. There is a link pinned at the top of the live chat there. Give us a cheeky little... Why is this collar always so curled? That's so annoying. Anyway, you can give us a repost on X there, guys, if you want to. There's the link. Share it around. You know it makes sense. Nice one, Wayne. Get in there. You're here. Let's go, Nas, Paddy, Sean, Roger, Paula. Yes, let's go. Everyone, thanks for joining. Right, we've got lots to get into anyway. So, obviously, the state of play at the moment is Man United are very close to reaching that agreement and getting that Bryan Mbeumo deal done. Yippee-ki-yay, mofos. Yeah, that's right. It's breaking news. No, it's not breaking news. It's funny, isn't it? We're waiting for that. Here we go. We're waiting for that Ornstein bomber, you know, and hopefully it's coming very, very soon. But there are some news updates tonight to get into. So medical stuff. So at the moment, there's lots of reports coming out over the last half an hour, 45 minutes or so ago, that he is expected to fly into Manchester to complete his medical and sign Man United's contract next week, early next week. So obviously it's Thursday today. What does that mean? Monday, Tuesday. Guess what day Tuesday is? The 1st of July. 1st of July, in my opinion, is Mbeumo Day. Circle it in your diaries, my friends. No, in Manchester United, we may well end up taking a little bit longer and making the 7th Mbeumo Day. But for me, the 1st of July is Mbeumo Day. So so that's probably what's going to be happening. He's expected to be flying in for his medical early next week. The 1st of July is the date that a lot of deals are probably going to end up getting done because of the refreshment of the PSR guff for the year. So, you know, if you look at the calendar, it's only a few days away, guys, for Mbeumo Day. Circle it in your diaries there. But that's a report by Marco Alcaraz. Also, there's another report, basically the same thing, coming out from the likes of Ben Jacobs, etc., saying, breaking, Bryan Mbeumo's... Bryan, who am I? Jonathan Ross? Bryan Mbeumo's Manchester United medical is expected to take place next week. That's another one reporting it. So, you know, I guess it's not rocket science, is it? He obviously has to pass a medical before signing for Manchester United, and it's expected he'll be signing early July. So, yes, his medical should be in a few days' time, which is excellent news. Obviously, get this guy finished, done, get him in there. You know, the longer it goes on, the more worrying and the more annoying it is. We have to just get this guy done. And then that's two good signings that we have paid a lot of money for, to be fair. But it's like, it's pretty direct stuff from us, you know, to get these two big signings in early in the window, which allows us a bit more time at the start of July before pre-season. The 19th of July is our first game against Leeds. Before that, gives us a couple of weeks just to try and get as many players sold as possible. And also sign a key striker and ideally a goalkeeper, and then we'll be okay. But at the moment, things still are only 50% done in my book. Even if we get Mbeumo, we've still got to find a striker up top at number 9. And in my opinion, we have to replace Flubberhand, otherwise it's just an absolute calamity, really, isn't it? So, yes, but look, let's see what the other guys have said. Fabrizio Romano said this morning. He said that Justin, Manchester United are now confident to get Mbeumo deal done after progress. Mbeumo's pushing for his dream move to Man United. So Mbeumo obviously wants to join, pushing to join. Personal terms not an issue. Somewhere in the region of 150, 165k, somewhere in that region is expected. There are varying reports. Some say we're paying as much as 250k a week, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's closer to 150, 165. We also have an update from Rich Fay, just a little bit more in depth on the sort of where the deal may actually be at. Let's have a little read of this. He said Manchester United have reached a basic agreement to sign Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. It's understood United are happy to pay a £60 million base fee with add-ons set to take the overall package towards roughly £65 million. The only thing left to do is finalise the payment structure of the £60 million and determine achievable add-ons that both clubs are happy with. Mbeumo will then be permitted to undergo a medical and complete his media duties as a new signing. So I think that's kind of where we're at the moment. As annoying as it is, and I think it could be a here we go moment any time, but as annoying as it is, it's still not quite finalised, is it? To the point where we can say this is a done deal. It's not still done. There's still some sort of structural issues, it seems. I mean, obviously there are people reporting that this is done, and maybe it is done. It looks like it's getting done. But at the moment, it's not done. It's not quite done. But it's basically done, but it's not. You know, but we'll never say anything's done until it's done. And this isn't done. You dum-dum give me gum-gum. This is not done, this one. So basic agreement may be reached there with Brentford, but still perhaps structural issues with the amount we're paying, not just up front in terms of how long, if we are paying it all up front, etc., and also add-ons, performance bonuses that are achievable, that sort of thing. So there you go, really. It is what it is, really. We're trying to get it over the line. There's still a couple of little finer things and details, I guess, to iron out. And once that has been ironed out, I expect there will be a here we go very soon. And we'll probably get the agreement, from the reporters, those big couple of reporters we're looking out for, well before the actual official announcement from the club. So that could be in a couple of days, in the next couple of days, and then probably on the 1st of July, or even a few days after that, knowing Man United, they will announce the official signing of Bryan Mbeumo. So it's getting there, folks. 99% done. It's just not 100% done yet, and you can't say it is until it is. But it's almost agreed, I would say, is the yes, you know it, Night at the Museum, lad, you know it. It's almost agreed, I guess, is what we would say at this moment in time. It's infuriating. It's very frustrating, obviously, having to talk about this. The fact that we haven't still managed to get it done. But it is approaching being done. That's all we can really say and hope for at the moment, that it's approaching being done. And we're confident of getting the deal done. And obviously Mbeumo wants to get the deal done. And he should hopefully be flying in for a medical early in the week in order to get the deal done. So there you go. That's the latest on Mbeumo. But before we get on to any other stuff, I'm going to get into the live chat for a bit, see what you legends are saying about Mbeumo here. And get your thoughts and opinions. I'll just dip in for a few minutes to the live chat. Keep hitting the thumbs ups, everyone. If you're just joining the stream, smash that like on it. We got 219 legends in here. Let's see if we can get 100 likes. Give us a massive like spike. It makes sense. Also, hit the subscribe. That'll help us out. And get yourself involved. Another day gone and still nothing. It is quite frustrating, isn't it? Let me just have a swig of my coffee here. Coffee at 10:30. You love it. Yeah, that's interesting. Kai says, my sources say that the deal will get done tonight at 11 p.m. Oh, we can hope. I mean, it's possible. We've had quite a lot of those sorts of here we go moments on this channel in the past. Usually around about, for some reason, late at night. Not all the time, but there is quite a good few ones late at night when we do these late night shows. So I'm hoping that we'll be live, if it's not tonight, which it probably won't be, but I'm hoping there will be like a here we go when we're live at some point of an evening. That'd be nice. Yeah, let's have a look at what you guys are saying. So, Mbeumo is a red. The next and probably final for this window must be a midfielder. So you would prioritise a midfielder over a striker then, would you? I mean, I guess you've still got a lot of firepower up there, don't you, at the moment, even if we didn't sign anyone necessarily, with the likes of Xerxes, Cunha, Mbeumo, Bruno. But it's still not ideal. We definitely could do with getting a big old number 9 up there, couldn't we there, Manny lad? But fair enough. I mean, a midfielder would be important for us. Absolutely. I think we could do with adding somebody, a number 6 to our ranks, really. But that's in an ideal world, and we're not living in an ideal world. We're living in a Glazer world. And we are living in a Glazer world. But I'm not a Glazer girl. Anyway, I'm just saying, there's obviously a lot of... obviously a lot of positions we could do with strengthening other than the striker and the goalkeeper. So right wing back would not hurt us to get somebody in there as well. A central midfielder would be nice. And even a secondary striker, even a backup striker would be great, especially if Højlund is going. So I feel you, but I'm not so sure if I would prioritise a midfielder next. I would probably prioritise... It's between goalkeeper and striker for me. I don't know. I mean, I feel like goalkeeper is a big problem for us. But we also need somebody who can actually score goals at the top of the pitch. Yeah, Dino, I'm with you. I think I have to just prioritise goalkeeper, just replace Flubberhand, and then get a goal scorer as well. And those are the two key positions next to strengthen. Tommy Boyle, one of the legendary mods, getting in there raw, son. Yes, he says, evening, me old fruit. Hope you're well. Not too shabby. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing good as well. Let's go, Mr. Tommy Boyle. What do you make of this so far? SCJF says, all 91k friends. Yes, thank you, everyone. We have hit 91,000 subscribers on the channel. We're less than 9,000 away from 100k now. You what? Bacon Brigade assembled? That's right, we have. Thank you so much to all the new subscribers and all the old subscribers. We're on the march to 100k, guys. Can't believe we're saying that, but we are. So, yes, if you're new, get yourself subscribed and help us get there. We do need goals. Absolutely, we need goals. Goals. That is the word. Cunha and Mbeumo are going to bring a lot of goals, hopefully, but we need somebody up top there who can bring a lot of goals. I mean, theoretically, if we did sign like a proper baller striker this summer, somebody like a Gyokeres who's very clinical and scores a lot, awesome, you know, something like that. If we were to do that, we could be adding maybe 50 extra goals into our team, and that may sound like a bit of a ridiculous number, but it's actually not, because of how shite United's team were last season. You know, they scored, I think, what was the front three? I think it was one more than Mbeumo did. So 21 goals in the Prem, I believe. Somebody may have to fact check this, but I believe the front three of United essentially managed 21 goals throughout the season combined. So that's one more than Mbeumo managed on his own. And then if you add Mbeumo's goals to United and you add, say, Gyokeres' goal tally, which might be, I don't know, could be 20 goals, for instance, 25 goals, maybe, if you're lucky, in an ideal world. And then also Cunha's 15-odd goals that he scored, you know, that's immediately, maybe not 50 more goals, but it's immediately 30 more goals that's potentially coming in this team this season. Obviously, the team has to play well, but, you know, there's a lot more firepower up there all of a sudden, especially if we do get number 9. So, yes, I'm thinking goals is of the priority, definitely. Gav's highlights, how you doing, you legend? You read Onana is staying at United. Where did you read that? Did you read that in a bedtime story next to Andre Onana's bed to put him to sleep so he would stop crying? Is that what you did, Gavs? Because other than that, I don't feel, you know, I wouldn't take too much notice of that lad, in my opinion, because at the moment, yes, Andre Onana probably does want to stay at Manchester United, doesn't he? Why wouldn't he? He's the main guy at United. He's getting paid well to do so. Yes, the pressure's there, but he's competing for trophies and stuff, or at least has done the last couple of seasons. Even won the FA Cup and stuff. You know, he's done okay in that sense. But obviously, if somebody else comes in, if we do go out and sign Costa, if we do bring in Martinez, then he's going to get the old right hump, isn't he? And he's not going to want to carry on, you would think, to be number 2 at United. Maybe he will just elect to be a full-on backup merchant. But who wants to be a backup merchant? Who wants to be a backup merchant? It depends. We'll see. He might knock on Amrim's door and say, look, boss, can you find me a new club? I don't think Amrim really cares that much if he stays or goes. He'd probably rather get him gone in order to free up the space and free up the wages, because who needs a backup goalie on 150k a week or whatever? And also, you know, just like you don't want somebody unhappy who might be causing a bit of issue there because he's not playing when he wants to be playing. Stuff like that. So it's better for everyone, really, if he moved. But of course, Man United have not signed a new goalkeeper yet. We are linked to a few different goalkeepers, but we have not signed any just yet. So it may well be the case that we are prioritising other areas in the team. Maybe we do get a big striker in. You know we don't have a lot of money this summer to spend. We have to sell players in order to finance the next signings. And Mbeumo and Cunha is probably all we could expect to hope, unless we do finance deals by getting rid of players. So it's going to hinge a lot on how well Man United sell this summer, how capable we are of moving players on. You know, the likes of Rashford and Jadon Sancho and Garnacho and these sorts of guys. You know, they might have their best man, Timo Schafter, on the case, but, you know, ultimately it's down to what these players want, and player power is mad, and Sancho's on so much money, he doesn't want to go anywhere, and, you know, all the rest of it. So it's very difficult to actually get these sales. So it might happen where we can sell a lot of these players and generate enough cash to go and buy a striker and a goalie, and maybe have some left over to go and get another position strengthened. Or it could be very difficult to get rid of these turds that won't flush, you know, very difficult to do a Nelly Furtado on it. I'm like a turd that will not flush away. You know, it's very difficult to get these turds to flush sometimes if they don't want to go. You know, let's face it, Garnacho, if he can't find a new club, if nobody's prepared to pay the money, we don't have to sell him. You know, he's on not huge money, so clubs should be interested in him. And he's worth, like, what, 50 million, maybe 60 million, 70 million to Chelsea scum. You know, he's worth a good bit of cash, but they have to actually want to buy him. They have to actually try and bid for him and try and get him. And so if they do that, then obviously he will go. Or he would expect to go. But if they don't do that, if nobody wants him, then we're stuck with the Melter, aren't we? Because his contract's at United. That's all I'm saying. And then Sancho, well, I mean, let's just get into that now. I mean, Sancho's already looking like he's going to be so difficult to get rid of, because, you know, this is from Fab this morning, says just in, Juventus and Napoli cannot reach an agreement on Sancho's wages. Both clubs have no problem paying £25 million to Man United, but wages are a problem. Yeah, United want a full sale, but interested clubs want a loan, so part of his salary is covered. Fuck off, Jadon Sancho, you money-grabbing bastard. Goodness me. Great clubs there are after him, you know. Not these aren't run-of-the-mill shit clubs. He's got to be the luckiest player ever in the world, this twat, to be wanted by so many great clubs. Goodness me. Napoli and Juventus want a piece of him. But, you know, because of the finances involved, difficult for this guy to obviously get an agreement in place. You know why? Because he's sucking at that frothy glazer teat, collecting 300k a week for doing naff all this twat. You know? So, this is it really. We've stitched ourselves up with these ridiculous wages over the years to the point where we can't even get rid of players when the fees are tiny and they actually don't even want to be here anymore. And it's not a tiny fee, obviously, but it's the wages that is the problem. Like, we are going to have to pay another team a percentage of his remaining contract in order to get this player to piss off. That is how disgraceful this melt is. You know, it's our own fault, I suppose, for giving these players so much. But, you know, it'd be nice if one of these guys just went, oh, you know what, I've got a great opportunity to play for Juventus here or something. I'll take a 50k a week pay cut and go and play, you know. Wouldn't that be so wholesome and refreshing in this day and age of absolute prima donna diva shite? Oh, it boils my piss, guys, when players like this are pricing themselves out of moves. You know, we complain about maybe teams pricing players out of moves. Obviously with Gyokeres Sporting asking for so much money. But, you know, obviously the players can do it too. If they don't want to go, or if they've got such a cushy contract, Manchester United, that they don't want to go, then, you know, it's just an absolute disgrace. Oh, G-Wolf, thank you for the super chat, lad. Sorry, I just seen that, lad. I was ranting about that Sancho melt. G-Wolf United. Oh, let's get some birthday wishes in there for him. Happy birthday to you, G-Wolf, lad. He says, today is my birthday. Have a cheeky Ribena on me. Ah, thank you so much, G-Wolf, lad. I hope you're having a good birthday, lad. Much love to you, dude. Have a wonderful day. And thanks for making it all about you, yeah? I'm joking. Happy birthday, you legend, and thank you so much for the super chat. Enjoy your 25th birthday, you legend. Appreciate you, G-Wolf, you long-time legend. Oh, hell yeah. Much love to the Wolf, that absolute legend he is. Thank you, G-Wolf, and thank you very much indeed for getting in on your birthday evening, you legend. Happy birthday, G-Wolf. Absolutely, get some birthday wishes in there for the legend. Thank you, mate. Hey, Simon Cowie, will we get rid of players like Garnacho and Sancho? It will take some time. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's tough to get rid of these guys because they're greedy and they're on such great contracts. Like Rashford may well want to play for another team. But he's not going to play for 250 grand a week when he's getting paid 350 grand a week at United. It just doesn't make economic sense, does it? It's better to just fanny around with a sulk on and wait till a deal does come in where you can make 350k a week at least. You know, it's economics. I get it. You know, it's a job. If you worked at Tesco's on £14 an hour, would you want to move to Sainsbury's for £13 an hour? I mean, there's factors involved, but I'm just saying it depends. There's a lot to consider there, obviously. But it's not as clear-cut. I mean, these are footballers. They get a finite amount of time to actually play and enjoy the game and be part of teams. And it's just different. Anyway, so there you go. Sancho cannot reach an agreement at the moment, it seems. We'll hopefully be able to move him on shortly. But I think the best bet is probably just a loan move away. He's only got a year left on his contract. Ideally for Man United, if we could get 25 million... That's what this report was saying anyway, that teams are prepared to pay around about 25 million for him, which I find to be crazy considering he's only got a year left and he's gash and his attitude stinks. But 25 million apparently is his value. But it's just the fact that his salary is so much, it's holding us up. I mean, otherwise we could have a sweet bit of cash and this melter off of our books. Sweet bit of cash to be able to reinvest in a new goalkeeper or something. You know, so it's piss poor. Please just do one Jadon Sancho. We've all had enough of looking at his mug around the place. We've all had enough of him, you know, not trying his hardest or just being a complete unprofessional melt. We've basically just seen enough. We don't want him. But that's what I mean about player power. Like, his contract is his contract and it's going to be honoured. As long as he turns up when he's supposed to turn up, even if he's shite, you know, you ain't got a leg to stand on. So there you go. Another player like that, right? Then we got an update here. Another player who's kind of like that, I suppose, but less so. But still, it's been a bit unprofessional and a problem for us, is obviously Marcus Rashford. I mean, Rashford's been effective for us in the past. Like, I've got some great memories of Rashford, to be fair, you know, doing bits in the Parc des Princes, smashing free kicks in against Chelsea, worldies. You know, he's won a couple of trophies for us. I've got some great memories with Marcus Rashford, to be fair, right? But he doesn't want to be here anymore. He doesn't want to be here anymore. And he's going to have to get maybe a little bit more realistic about where he's going to end up. Because if all he wants is to go to Barcelona, well, he might not get his wish. Because let's face it, Barcelona are actually a good top team. And he's a bit of a bang average player these days. Bit of a headless chicken lad. Anyway, let's see what this report says. It says Barcelona want to offer a simple one-year loan deal for Rashford, including a standard fee and paying a large part of his salary. They do not have any plans to buy him permanently due to financial restrictions and a desire to bring in Nico Williams. So it sounds like we're going to get stitched up with Rashford again unless we're prepared to let him go and still pay him money to play for a different team in Europe. I mean, it's a disgrace, isn't it? What we've done at this club, paying these players $350k a week, this guy. Yeah, nobody else is realistically going to pay it, even with a simple year deal. Maybe Barca would get close to it, actually, and we just have to pay a bit. But I just can't imagine anybody wanting him, even on a one-year loan, if there's a small fee up front and he's paid that amount. It's crazy money. So, yeah, it's hard to actually even get him out on loan for a year. But that's why Barcelona seemingly only want him in that capacity, is because they have their own restrictions. They're trying to sign Nico Williams. Financial issues, whatever you want to say. It's not expected they'll have the readies available there to be able to make a permanent move for Rashford right now. And United value Rashford at around about £40 million. He does have 3 years left on his contract for us. And of course he's, a big brand and all that sort of stuff. He is on big money, which has to be factored in. But as I said, if he wasn't on such big money, he would be worth a significant amount more. So there you go. Rashford, just salary is also potentially going to price him out of a move this summer. So very, very disappointing to hear at the moment about these sorts of situations with players and outgoings. It's more likely the players like Garnacho and Højlund and Antony that are going to be much more saleable this summer for us because they're on lesser contracts and they're younger and, they're just like... It's easier to sell them right now. It is easier to sell them. Whereas these guys, these overpaid, overhyped prima donna melt bags such as Rashford and Sancho, they're going to be quite challenging to sell, I think. So just be prepared that this may take a long time throughout the summer for us to get these guys gone. It would be lovely and symbolic if United could do it right at the start of July. Get these guys well out of the picture before pre-season starts and before the tour starts. But reality is, it probably is going to take a little bit of time to get rid of all these melts. Simon Cowie, lad, get the fuck in there, my son. Thank you so much for the £20 super chat, lad. Let's get some big raw love in there for him. Oh shit, on my way home from Derry Hospital with a broken ankle, I had 10 pins and a plate in. Did you happen to have any morphine as well there, Simon? You know what I mean? Oh dear though, Simon. Yeah, I know. I remember I saw your comment the other day about you doing that, lad. That's awful. And I replied to you. I don't know if you saw my reply, but that's terrible, Simon. Get well soon, mate. Get well soon. That's awful, lad. Absolutely awful. Broken ankle. Temporary pins and a plate in. Crikey. Shit the bed, lad. That's gashed, isn't it, Simon? Well, at least you got the summer off. You know what I mean? At least you got the summer off now, I suppose, Simon, lad. Put your foot up and rest up, lad. You know what I mean? But hopefully you get well soon and it's well on the mend, But much love to you, Simon. Thank you so much for a start there for that meaty super chat, lad. Really appreciate that. And wishing you all the best in your recovery, dude. Get some big old love for long-time legend Simon Cowie. Appreciate that. Yeah, Stephen says get well soon. Absolutely, lad. 100%. Oh, nice one, Jamie Riley. Welcome in, you legend. We're on here most nights, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Prima Italia. You blame United. They offered these monster contracts to these players. Arsenal letting Partey go because he was asking for a small pay rise. Exactly, mate. That's it, really. You have to stick to a structure. So in my opinion, United shouldn't be signing any players who want more than 200k a week at the moment. Genuinely, that gives us room, if after a couple of seasons they're absolutely balling out as world stars doing bits for us, to be able to maybe pay them what they've earned by giving them a bit more of an increase. But unfortunately, we just gave players like Jadon Castro. I mean, obviously Rashford earned it to a degree, but still shouldn't have been given that much, because from that moment on he down tools, it seems. But a lot of money gifted to these players for not doing too much, really. It needs to be earned. So I think we shouldn't even sign anyone who wants more than £200,000 a week at the moment. We have to stick to a rigid wage structure and try and get rid of the players that are problematic to that wage structure as well. Like, I think you can justify Bruno Fernandes being on that sort of money because he's our captain and he's a passionate player who's always fit and ready and available and plays well more often than not and is a big player for us. You can justify him earning that sort of cash. But you can't justify Sancho earning that cash. You can't justify Rashford earning that cash. And you can't even justify Casemiro earning that cash anymore. You know, because he's at the tail end of his career now. He's older, and he's not going to be playing every single game, and he's not really worth the money we're paying him anymore. He is still a good player. He's worth, a couple $100,000 a week for another year left or whatever, but he's not worth 300K a week plus, It's crazy. So we have to try and get away from paying players that amount of money and only bring in players that are going to be a lot less, and it will literally save us millions as well, Rob. And I don't even think necessarily you're getting less quality players. The player is still a gamble to sign at any point. They could break their leg, or they could turn out shite like Jadon Sancho. They could get that big money contract and come and down tools. That could happen if a player's earning 150 grand a week or 300k a week. I guess it's more likely to happen if they're getting the real top end money. But ultimately, it's down to the players. Like, we've spent 73 million on Sancho on 300 grand a week, and he's shite. We spent, big money on Højlund and Antony, and they're shite. We spent big money on these players, and they're shite. So there's a lesson here to be learned. We don't have to spend big money to get shite. We can spend less money and get shite. Or we can spend less money, identify players that are better, spend less and get good players, which is the ideal, isn't it? And at the moment, we are spending quite a lot of money on Mbeumo and Cunha, but it's not ridiculous. And their wages are also not ridiculous either. They're both sort of sub 200,000, around about that. Anyway, we don't know the exact figures right now, obviously, but around about that compared to what players like, Sancho and Rashford are getting. It's much better. So that's what we have to work towards. Get rid of all these high wage players who are just a drain on the club. And then hopefully, that's the way we're going to see a lot of money saved. We can reinvest that money better. Could be good. But until we get rid of them, they are just a continued massive drain on this football club. Yes, we got 300 legends in here. How you doing tonight, guys? Thank you for joining the show. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. That's the red one that says subscribe. Click that one. It's red. And also smash the like button if you haven't done so. Are we at 200 likes? Let's have a little look. We're on 152 though. Get in. Keep hitting the likes. Help us get to 200. And get yourself involved here. Nice one. Yep, true, Mark Coughlin. Okay, so we'll just talk about that for a second before we get onto the, Gyokeres stuff, because we have got a little bit more on Gyokeres, and that is still a link. But goalkeeper-wise, obviously Manchester United are, in my opinion, got to be prioritising that position, with Onana there and all the errors he makes. I will have some serious questions about Amorim and also United and their recruitment team and everybody in general, if they don't at least try and get that problem solved for us this summer by bringing in a goalkeeper. I understand if their funds might not be available, but you've got to at least try. It has to be a priority area for us to strengthen. So, it seems like there's two really, I would say, big links at the moment, and then there's several smaller links and lots of players linked to us in that position. There's loads of players linked to us like Chevalier and Lunin and even my nan and my granddad, and there's loads of other people who are linked to us, right? But actually the main couple that keep coming up, James Trafford's another one, Russell. The main couple that seem to come up at the moment are Diogo Costa over at Porto. Amorim's expected to be a very big fan. It is thought that they would want some in the region of 40 to 50 million euros for him, though, which might just scupper that deal altogether, because, as I said, it depends what money we're going to have available from outgoing player sales, and we haven't sold anybody just yet. If we can sell Garnacho, Sancho, Rashi, all these guys, we should be able to do it easy. But that might not be feasible just due to the amount of money, but that definitely does seem like he would be a great option for us. And then the other option, big option that's linked to us heavily is, of course, Emiliano Martinez over at Villa. And I think that's a big link because there's reports that he's quite keen to move away from Villa. Don't blame him, Birmingham shite in it. And just joking. It's absolutely Boston, mate. Anyway, and then also, that Villa have to try and balance the books a little bit this summer. And maybe they're open to just selling one or two players. Plus, there might be one or two players they've got an interest in at United. And perhaps we could do some sort of a swap deal. I mean, the ideal would just be a straight swap, Andre Onana for Martinez. They're getting a younger player with more miles on the clock. And we're getting somebody who's not a complete flubber-handed individual, who does does command the team in the area a bit better and stuff. He's still not the perfect goalie. No. I mean, does that even exist? But in terms of what it would be as an improvement, I think it would be quite a big improvement. But those are the two that are linked at the moment. Yeah, there you go. Dino says Costa, they want 50 million. There you go. It's a lot of money, isn't it, that they're looking for over at Porto. And he does seem like a fantastic option, and I really would like to see him come in. But again, it's going to cost a lot of money. Michael Cunningham, thank you so much there for subscribing to the channel. Yes, Michael, thanks for that. If you're new, give us a subscribe. If you've got your subscriptions public, it'll pop up to say you've subscribed. I know. Anyway, I'll ask the live chat. So let's say it's just between those two goalkeepers. I know I've seen these stats, Jesse, but honestly, they don't really mean that much, mate. I know what you're saying, but in regards to like overall performances over a certain number of seasons and also even last season, I mean, if you look at the solidity in the games, there might be big errors in some games, like that one game against us where he got sent off and it's cost them, you know, getting in the Champions League. It's a big error, right? But ultimately, he's doing them less off them. There might be more errors, you know, in terms of in a couple of games there. But as it turns out, you know, in terms of errors leading to losses, Andre Onana is an absolute stinker. Andre Onana, you know, he's having more performances throughout the season that are of a poor standard. Emiliano Martinez is having great performances, and then there's a handful of smatterings of dodgy errors in there, you know. But I mean, all I have to think about is on the eye test there, who passes the eye test better? Martinez, who is a bit eccentric and does make a couple of errors, or Andre Onana, who seems very, very, like, unconfident. He seems very, very scared. You know, like any cross comes in and, you know, the look on his face is of sheer terror. And, like, he just doesn't have that command, that confidence you need. You know, Martinez is barking orders. He's winding up opposition players. He's got a big set of cojones. It's like, okay, fair enough. Stats-wise, you make an interesting point. You might be able to compare them. But actually, in terms of overall performances and what they actually bring for the team, I feel like Martinez is much better. But, you know, as we've said, I mean, I probably would still prefer to get Diogo Costa because he's younger and he looks mint. But again, I do like Martinez because of the Premier League proven factor. But let's ask the chat. I was going to say, let's ask the chat. If it's down to those two goalkeepers, just those two, who would you like to see Manchester United bring in between Premier League proven Emi Martinez, who's a bit eccentric and does make a couple of errors, but overall, let's face it, is a better option than Andre Onana, or Diogo Costa, who has the ability to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world and looks fantastic. But again, there's always a bit of a risk when you're spending a lot of money on a player coming into the Premier League there as well. Yeah. I do have to be honest and say, if I had to get one, it probably would be Costa. I'd be happy with either, though, as long as we're replacing Andre. But it would be Costa. He does look absolutely baller, and he's young, and he's got that Portuguese connection. You know, we've got a bit of a Portuguese vibe in our team with Amorim and Bruno and Dallo and all the Portuguese friends. So it does kind of make a little bit of sense there. Martinez, Costa, Martinez. Yeah, brother Costa. Costa, easy for me, better keeper. Martinez, I rate's one of the best in the world. He actually is. I mean, he's a big game player as well. So that's another thing. He is a big game player. You think about his run in the World Cup for Argentina and getting the Golden Glove and trying to shag it, you know, all that sort of stuff. He obviously has the ability to do great things, you know. He does, you know. To win a World Cup, you do have to have a great keeper, and he was a great keeper for them that tournament. Martinez, rather have a Costa coffee, and I don't drink the stuff. Oh, Emmy ain't that bad. I know. I don't really know why everybody's saying this, because he got sent off against us last game of the season. Big whoop. And there's a few other errors. But overall, he's a great shot stopper. You know, his penalty stops are a lot better than anything we've had for over a decade. You know, David De Gea, as much as I love him as a shot stopper, he was actually a terrible penalty stopper for some reason. Awful. He did stop a couple, but most of the time, let's face it, Gesh. Onana, Gesh. Emiliano Martinez, though, one of the better penalty stoppers in the world. I know that's, some will say it's just luck more than judgment, but I don't think it is. You know, Donnarumma's another one. They've just got a knack with stopping him, you know. So stuff like that makes him a better goalkeeper as well. Martinez Costa was rubbish against United in the Europa League. Fair enough, interesting. I can't even really remember that now. Martinez, I mean, I've watched quite a lot of Costa recently, you know, been a couple of Portugal games and stuff like that, and he looks pretty mint. You don't know why you're banging on about signing another goalkeeper when Onana will be number one. I'll tell you, Ray, because if anybody actually thinks that Andre Onana is starting the season in goal, then they're a crack addict, my son. Because did you not see the flubbery individual last season buttering his hands with Lurpak spreadable before every single freaking game and making loads of errors. We would be absolutely insane in the membrane to not try and strengthen the goalkeeper position this summer, lad. Are you for real, lad? Are you for real here, my friend? Costa will cost a lot. He will. Interesting. Alfredo Padilla tweeted, Onana update 35 million. Well, that's what we're looking for Onana. Pff, good luck with that, lad. Goodness me. We'll be lucky to get 3.5 million. Good evening. Costa for you. Nice one, Johnny Swan. Yeah, I'm leaning towards Costa at this stage. I am. Anyone but flappy hands. Costa much better for you. Spot on, Joe. Yep, Onana will be number 1 next season. I don't think so. I'll ask the chat, though, Ray. Let's see if people agree with you. I mean, I could see a reality where Onana is the goalie still. Like I say, if we can't sell lots of players and we're focusing on striker, like if Amarim's highlighted Gyokeres, for instance, as his number 1 guy, then he might go all out to get him, and there might not be anything left afterwards. We might have to stick with Onana. But I'll ask the live chat for a bit of fun then. Do you think Onana will be our number 1 next season? Put an Onana in the chat if you think that. Or do you think someone else? Someone else. I have to say someone else because I just can't imagine what would be going through our manager's head if he's not absolutely prioritising a new goalie and screaming from the rooftops to the board and everybody, recruitment team, etc., to get a new bloody goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? I can't imagine it. Beats Guy says, realistically, I think Onana will be the keeper next season, but it's his very last chance. Mate, I feel you. I mean, it would have to be his last chance, wouldn't it? Because we can't have another shocking season. But the reality is we probably will have a very dodgy season with him because he's just a dodgy keeper in the Prem for us. It's been kind of proven over 2 whole years. That's quite a long time, really, to prove yourself. I mean, no other Man United goalkeepers have been given anywhere near that amount of time in the past if they've been shite. Yeah, let's see what you guys are saying, though, interestingly enough. Someone else. Hopefully not someone else. Are you a Liverpool fan by any chance? Yeah, really. Onana. Yeah, option 2. No Onana, because we don't have the money unless we sell. True, we do have to sell lots of players, and we may prioritise striker. If we can only sell Sancho or get rid of Sancho on loan, and only sell Garnacho, say, then we're probably not going to get a goalie and a striker. We'll have to choose between. So I guess there is a chance that we did not go and get a goalkeeper as well. That is true. You got coupons that save more than Onana. Garnacho be putting nets as punishment. If we sign Martinez, then it benefits keeping Onana for the first 3 Premier League games. Okay, I suppose the window's actually still open, isn't it, until like the 1st of September. How many Premier League games is there until the 1st of September? There's at least a couple, probably, 3 or 4 is there in August. A few anyway, so that's actually not a bad shout, Marks. Yeah, keep him till right to the end of the season and then just sell him to like LA Galaxy or something at the end of the window, lad. I like your style. Yeah, if we do sign Martinez, because he's banned for the first few games, isn't he? Onana, unfortunately, you'd sooner rather have your Nana. Onana's had more chances than Cat Slater. I didn't just become a little bit of a slag. I became a total slag. Yeah, exactly. Trust Onana and we're done. Exactly. Anyway, I agree with the people saying we have to get somebody else, basically. But, to be fair to Ray, he might be right. He might be right because it depends who we can actually sell and who we can bring in. And if we are prioritising a striker ahead of a goalie, we don't know what Amarim's plans are, then there's every chance that we spend the remaining cash on a striker and don't even go and get a goalkeeper. We would be crazy to do so. We absolutely need a new keeper, in my opinion. Need it. But if the money's not there, it's not there. But if we can sell a few players, if Højlund, Antony, Garnacho go, there's no reason to not get a goalkeeper and a striker. So I'm still holding out hope that we'll get both of those positions sorted out. You'd be better having Mark Bosnich come out of retirement and go than keeping Captain McFall down. You want a new keeper, but I just don't see it. Oh, fair enough. I mean, yes, fair enough. I mean, obviously, we still have to sell lots and lots of players first to get that to be done, don't we? Gyokeres is coming. Okay, let's get into this then, Phil Taylor. Big ups, Phil Taylor. Get in there. Darts goat. Appreciate you, lad. Let's go. He says Gyokeres is definitely coming. Believe. I love your optimism. I love your confidence. If only Andre Onana had that level. But actually, who knows? It depends on other teams, unfortunately. It does seem his desired destination would be Arsenal. But let's have a little look at what we've got on Gyokeres today. There's a couple of things in regards to Gyokeres. Nothing big, obviously. We've not bid. But we are understood to be in regular talks still. with Gyokeres to try and, I guess, convince him to come, to keep the contact there if Arsenal can't get an agreement done with him or if he's not going elsewhere. I even saw some links earlier with Liverpool for Gyokeres. Liverpool are just linked to everybody at the moment, aren't they? The shithouses. Because they're doing some really great business in this transfer window and they're just sort of linked to everyone. I don't really think that's going down, but, that has been reported earlier on today by various outlets that Liverpool are now in for Gyokeres. I don't know if that's true. Probably not. Maybe it's just a little bit of extra added incentive by Sporting to maybe get some of these other teams to either hike up their price and maybe put in an early-ish sort of a bid, for these guys. But Gyokeres reopens door to Ruben Amorim. This is a report going around saying with Arsenal favouring Benjamin Sesko, Gyokeres could open the door for Manchester United. And yeah, let's face it, he's playing the field at the moment. He's dipping his wick at both ends. Wait, what? But you know what I mean? He's having his cake and eat it. He's sat there chilling at Sporting, waiting for the right deal to come along. Arsenal at the moment, they're twerking in the direction of Benjamin Sesko. Then they're twerking in the direction of Gyokeres. They're twerking in multiple directions. But they can choose only one direction, ultimately, to twerk into. And I think if it does end up being Benjamin Sesko and that deal gets done there, then, well, what's Gyokeres going to do? He's going to be left in Sporting pulling his plonker if he doesn't go to Arsenal. So that's where the link with Man United is going to get extremely strong, because Amorim really likes him. And the understanding is at the moment is that Amorim really wants him. Amorim would love to have a cheeky bit of Viktor Gyokeres action in his team, because he knows him, he knows what he's capable of. He's obviously a clinical player who scored a lot of goals. 54 in 52 last season for Sporting. Pretty impressive stuff, no matter the league. Some of that was in the Champions League as well. I think he got 6 in 8. So obviously would bring a lot of goals to our team. Obviously Premier League a lot different, much more difficult, but he would still be able to get good numbers, I think, based on just how many goals he is scoring on the weekly. And he's a physical specimen, quick, strong, got a bit of bottle about him. I saw a clip where he was going 1v1 with Pepe earlier. Don't know if anybody's seen that clip. I don't know what game it's from. Sporting versus Pepe's team. And but anyway, obviously Pepe's a bit of a bruiser, isn't he? One of the great defender, absolute bruiser. But Gyokeres is just kind of like shrugging him off, bullying him, if anything. Gyokeres is definitely cut out for the Premier League, is what I'm saying. He's got a bit of bottle about him. He's a bit physical. And I think he probably could handle the Premier League a lot better than most coming into it. So, I think overall, it's still a good option for us. We ideally want somebody who really wants to come to United. I still think Mateta and Visser and these guys are great options to go with, and Mbeumo and Cunha and these guys we've got up there. But I would certainly prioritise, if I was Amorim, Viktor Gyokeres, because of his relationship previously working with him as well. So there is a feeling here, that Gyokeres still would be keen on joining Manchester United if the deal cannot be done with Arsenal. So not much has changed there, really, but there are several reports saying, if Arsenal were favouring Sesko, then maybe Gyokeres could opt for Man United, especially if we're prepared to pay the money, which we probably are. Mate, Jack Krauser, thank you so much to Jack Krauser getting in here raw with a super chat, lad. Let's get some C's in for him. He comments and he says the following: beer-bellied Rooney would be better than Højlund. 150%, lad. Did you see him in that that charity game or whatever? He scored the quickest goal. Also, do you remember when he played one, what was it? I can't remember what it was now, but last summer at Old Trafford, and he got a free kick and just banged it top bins, lad. He would be way better than Højlund at the moment, even with him looking like a 50-year-old Phil Mitchell. He would absolutely be way better than Rasmus Højlund, lad. No joke, no doubt about it in my mind, lad. So I agree with you. That's how Gash Højlund is. Højlund's in his peak. Rooney's an old fat man now. No disrespect, I can say that because I'm a tubber myself. And and now he's but he's still better than him. It's shocking, isn't it, lad? What about Cristiano Ronaldo, though? Speaking of old codgers, goodness me, signed a new deal at Al Nassr to keep him there till 2027. He'll be 42. What a friggin' lunatic, Cristiano Ronaldo. It's mental. I mean, it's actually feasible, obviously not in his scenario, but if you're a 42-year-old footballer still doing it, technically your grandchildren could be watching you play. If you had your child when you were 20, and they had their child when they were 20, it's like technically your grandchild could be watching you play football for your team. That's mental. Cristiano Ronaldo, 42, still doing it. What a baller. Thank you for that, Jack Krause. Appreciate that. Also, big ups to this legend here, Simon Cowie, for getting in here with another super chat, lad. Yes. Thank you, Simon. Hang on a second. Thank you, Simon. He says, Pig Gyokeres is like a house of dominoes, and until Arsenal sign Sesko, he will come to United. Good call, good call. They all fall like dominoes, like dominoes. You're making me hungry now, mate. But yeah, actually, I agree. You know, if Sesko goes to Arsenal, that's it. Gyokeres is probably coming to Man United. But if Arsenal go in for him and try and get the deal done with Sporting and are prepared to pay the money and can entice him, then he'll probably go there because, let's face it, they're more stable. They've had a manager there long-term for a long period of time. They're in the Champions League. They finished second. They really only need a striker, I suppose, to maybe mount a serious challenge. So from that perspective, I'm sure he would rather go to Arsenal, yeah. But if they don't come a knock-in, you know, then he's got every chance of signing for us. Because from his point of view, he's pissed off with Sporting. He's not happy by all these reports anyway. This is what the reports are saying, that he's not happy with Sporting because they're not adhering to this gentleman's agreement that they had in place for around about, what, 70 million euros price tag to sell. They're seeking around 80 to 90 million at the moment, which is why nobody's actually been able to get to the point of agreeing anything verbally where they can table a bid, because they're just asking for too much, which is what's annoying the Gyokeres camp. And they are almost guaranteed to move this summer if a deal can be made. Obviously, a team's going to have to pay the money. It probably won't be 80 or 90 million, but a team's going to have to cough up, 75 million euros maybe for this guy, 70 million, 75 million, somewhere in that region to be able to get him properly, maybe some extra add-ons and stuff. So it's a huge amount of cash. But Gyokeres isn't going to be staying at Sporting next summer from what we've heard. He's apparently told the president of Sporting that he wants to leave and that he won't be playing for them again, basically because of how they've dealt with this whole pricing him out of a move situation. So there you go. So he'll definitely want to come to United, I think, if Arsenal don't actually go and get him. If Arsenal go and get him, there's not much we can do. And you couldn't really begrudge him or blame him choosing Arsenal over United at this particular moment in time. So we are waiting there, aren't we, Simon? And like you say, it's a bit of a domino effect. If Arsenal get Sesko, they're not signing Gyokeres. That means Gyokeres is going to have to move to somewhere else. And he's going to probably have to move to Manchester United, lad. And we would absolutely take him. Yes, it's not his first choice, but come on, we'll get over that, won't we, when he's banging all these hat-tricks in for us. That's the plan anyway. We'll get over that. We beggars can't be choosers, and at the moment, we're a smelly tramp on the sidewalk. I don't know why I said sidewalk, to be honest, guys. What am I, a damn Yank? Don't know. I meant pavement. You know what I mean? Anyway, Simon, thank you so much for your super chat there. Appreciate that, lad. Yes, definitely. Beerhold Rooney would be better. We could probably get Visser and Mateta for around the same price as Gyokeres. Don't know, Johnny. I think you could probably get, you could probably get Visser for 40 or 50 mil. You could probably get Mateta for 50 mil. Those guys are not going to... I mean, actually, I think you can get Mateta a bit cheaper, can't you? But those guys are still going to be significantly quite expensive. So I'm not so sure. But, yeah, I mean, Gyokeres is very pricey. You're not wrong. Manny Melos, thank you so much for getting in here with a $5 Aussie Rooska super chat from down under, mate. Struth, mate. He says, we will not buy a Gyokeres this window because Rashford and Sancho are eating our wallet. Who pays Gyokeres' wages? It isn't coming, lad. Fair dues. Well, that's based on us getting rid of players still, as we talked about. Right now, you're spot on, Manny. The money just isn't there. We've got these leechers on huge money that have taken up a lot of the actual wage budget, and then you've also got issues moving these players on to be able to afford these players we're signing. So, yeah, that's also a big knock-on effect. But Rashford and Sancho, like you say, £650,000 a week getting drained out of the football club with those two twats being here. That's priority to get them gone, and it is going to be difficult to get them gone. So, yeah, good point. But we might get them gone, though, Manny. Let's try and remain optimistic. They might be sold. We might get them off of our books. We also still have other players that can generate cash to pay for Gyokeres. Garnacho should be wanted by someone this summer. He's a 20-year-old great player with huge potential. He is a bit of a knob, but he's got great, huge potential for the future, hasn't he? So we have to pretend, at least, like we can get £50 million for him. Come on. Surely that's we're capable of doing that. Napoli or someone might want him. Surely we've got to hope we can sell him. His wages aren't too crazy. He's sellable. And beyond that, Anthony Dos Santos to Betis or somewhere's realistic. I think we can get the money for Gyokeres. The question is, can we get the money for Gyokeres, a goalkeeper, and maybe another midfielder or somebody in the team to come in another position? That's the real question, because I think we can definitely sign one more player and sell a couple of our players. But in an ideal world, you're seeing United sell 6 players this summer. You're seeing us sell Onana and replace him with a new keeper. You're seeing us sell Højlund and replace him with a new striker. You're seeing us sell Antony to Betis. You're seeing us sell Garnacho to Napoli or a team abroad. You're seeing us sell Rashford. You're seeing us sell Sancho. That's it in an ideal world, really. I mean, there's probably others like Mason Mount. I guess in a really ideal world, you could say piss off Mason. But that's just unrealistic, isn't it? Same with Luke Shaw. Like, it's just unrealistic to even talk about Luke Shaw being sold. Nobody wants that Frey Bentos loving melt. So those guys, but 6 players at least there to generate cash with, but it is going to be hard to sell them all, mate. You're absolutely spot on. Yeah, that was the one, the Legends game versus United. That's it, where Wayne Rooney scored that sick free kick in. Manny, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the super chats there, Legends. Appreciate that. Is Zlatan still available? Let me ask him, mate. Let me ask him. My name is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I do not want to play for Manchester United anymore. I went there as expecting to see a great club, and all I saw was a club with a closed mentality. Zlatan Ibrahimovic does not play in 1990s gym equipment. Zlatan Ibrahimovic turns up when he wants and plays for any team in the world. Zlatan is lucky that he can just turn up and do what Zlatan wants. Do you understand me? Anyway, sorry. But yes, Zlatan did say after he left United that he expected to see this. I can't remember exactly what he said, but some grandioso, huge club. But they were a small, closed mentality football club when he got here and with all old equipment and everything. So, he probably wouldn't want to come back anyway, mate, because not much has changed. You know what I mean? Not much has changed. Glazer's shithouses still got us doing deals via carrier pigeon. You know what I'm saying? So not much has changed there. Please get Tevez back. Did you see him in that charity match the other day, mate? Still balling out. Yeah, Matty Smith. Let's get some Danish flags in the live chat, please, for Ericsson. Thank you for your service. Christian Eriksen, lad, all over social media, obviously. His time at United's come to an end. Lindelof as well, but we've already done that for Lindelof the other day. But Christian Eriksen, he was a good player for us. He was good. He was a utility player. Didn't play all the time, but, he was a good player to bring on late in games who could control games, pass the ball well, good set pieces, etc. I've got a lot of love for Christian Eriksen. Obviously, he's not going to go down as a legend of this club or anything, but he still had a reasonably successful couple of years here. So, respect to Christian Eriksen, lad. Oh, Danish friend. And good luck to him. All the best to him, lad. All the best to him. Same, what a player he was. Ronaldo said the same thing. He did. And he was absolutely right as well, it turned out. Absolutely right. Thank you for giving us 200 likes, everyone. And thank you, Fat Thor, for getting in here raw there, Thor, and making it 200. He says, we are taking more than a month to sign a Premier League player. Isn't that nuts, considering how fast others are moving? It is very frustrating, yeah. I mean, City have done bits. Did you see 8 Nori earlier on looking class and stuff? City have done a lot of signings. Liverpool have done a lot of signings. You're not wrong. We are kind of a little bit slow at the minute. Yeah, okay, if we announce Mbeumo on the 1st of July, it's not bad, and Mbeumo and Cunha, but we're still behind other teams, especially when you factor in just how many players we could, in an ideal world, bring in or should be bringing in. So, yeah, we are a team that should be strengthening a lot, and we're kind of not at the minute. Welbeck's a good player, but, probably, yeah, I mean, Welbeck's a good player, but I just don't really see that happening. We'll go for a Visser or a Mateta probably long before that, unless he was just available for literally free. He was good that first season. Andy Carroll really derailed him. Yeah, you actually thought Ericsson was okay for the health issues and age. Brilliant, lad. Yeah, good player for us. Nothing spectacular, but certainly I've got some good memories. He scored a few key goals here and there. Welbeck would be United. Welbeck probably should have never left United, should he? He should have never left United. He was a good player to have in the squad. Christian Eriksen to go through what he went through and then to come back and play football. That's incredible, isn't it, Lewis? I know, that is quite unbelievable. Miraculous stuff that he's actually been able to, come that close to death. If it wasn't for modern technology and a little bit of luck, I think was it? Yeah, no. Which one was it where they had, I think it was Fabrice Muamba actually. Do you remember that? There happened to be just like some sort of heart specialist or something in the crowd, and he came on and gave them a heart massage, and that's a large reason why they were able to revive them and stuff. Remember? I think that's Fabrice Muamba. I'm getting mixed up. But either way, these people nearly frigging died. And to come back, and obviously Fabrice Muamba, I don't think so. Don't think he ever played again. I know he didn't play, for a long time, if he ever did come back at any level, but I'm pretty sure he retired straight after that incident. Whereas Ericsson Eriksen's just like strap a cheeky little, defibrillator in me and let me go. You know what I mean? He said, to be fair, you got to admire that sort of level of bollocks, don't you? Playing such an intense cardio game. I mean, it's intense. Professional football. Intense. When you've had a heart attack, I mean, it would be concerning, wouldn't it? But he's still just going for it, you know. What a legend. Both embarrassing United and Arsenal lack of signings. Fair. Yeah, that's true, I guess. I mean, Arsenal only really need one or two, but you're not wrong. I think obviously getting Miles Lewis-Skelly signed up to a new contract yesterday was big news for you guys as well, to be fair. But yeah. Has Timo Schafter managed to move on Garnacho the Melt? Not yet, mate. Not yet. Would you take Jackson from Chelsea? Doggy G, I'd sooner gouge out my own adenoids. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something different than eyeballs there, guys. That was a bit too intense. But no, I wouldn't want Nicholas Jackson, mate. I think he's a bit of a... He's not clinical. I know he scored a bunch of goals, but he's just not clinical, mate. So no, we can do better than that. Look at Visser, for Pete's sake. The answer's staring us right in our face. It's Visser. Visser, 19 goals in the Prem. Works alongside his matey, Bryan Mbeumo, who we're signing. Visser's easy. That's the safe option. He's not even going to cost a shitload of money. They've just changed their manager. They're starting a new era. He might not even fucking want to stay at Brentford anymore. It's a great time to go and get Visser. You know, he literally is... probably not going to break the bank either. I reckon you get him to 40 to 50 mil. Look at how much Norgard went to. Who did Norgard go to? Arsenal, wasn't it? And then they've signed Kepa as well. Yeah, no. Yeah, Norgard, guys, Arsenal. Am I making this up? Did I have a dream of this earlier? Or no, that's right. Norgard, 12 million. Is that right? How did that come about? They're frigging captain, weren't he? 10 million. How did that come about? Yeah, there you go, 10 million, 9 million. How did that come about? Did he have a release clause? Why is he going so bloody cheap between clubs? Pisses you off, doesn't it? But anyway, what I'm saying is there may well be a deal done that could be done with Brentford for Visser for not an insane amount of money, which would give us a good player proven in the Premier League who could work alongside up there with the likes of Bryan Mbeumo. So I think it would be a decent acquisition. Yes or no? Do you think Visser's the way to go? Get us a vote in the chat there, you legends. Norgard to Arsenal for 10 million. I know, it's crazy. Hey, Sully Griffin, how you getting on, you legend? Yes, lad, he says, hi, Pig and friends. Great to see you, Sully. How you doing? Manny says, maybe Mbeumo will get Visser here. Cunha came because he's tight with Bruno. If Bruno left, Cunha wasn't coming. It's interesting that, Manny, interesting. Well, I think it's going to be a factor, isn't it? If he is friendly, if he is matey with Visser, and he works well with him on the pitch as a professional... You know, why not? Why not, mate? It's a smart move, isn't it, to go and get him? Stephen says that would be a very smart move. Get Jonathan David and Jamie Vardy on a free. Oh, now you're talking, lad. Those deals are right there. Staring us in the face for depth up top. Staring us in the face. I think 40 to 50 million, personally, for Visser. That's what I think. I don't know. But Brentford, you know, he's a bit older, isn't he? He's 28. I don't know. They're obviously planning a rebuild anyway because they've lost a couple of players. They've got a new manager. That's the only reason I think right now is probably a good time to go. Let's face it, Brentford are probably expected to do a little bit of a nosedive now with Thomas Frank going. They might even be in a relegation battle. Maybe not, but you know, it's probably a good time to jump ship if you're a player there to a bigger club like Man United. So Visser, yeah, 35 to 40, you reckon? His contract's nearly up. TK says yes, Visser. Vardy going Rangers. Because he's like, right, God, he's only good for an armpit. Yes to Visser. Where is Zayn tonight? I don't know, lad. Probably polishing his James Cameron photograph. Yes, and a keeper. Tommy Boyle says, I don't get why people want us to sign Mosman. Don't just watch his highlights because they don't show how many chances he misses. He's a poor finisher too and got attitude of a spoilt brat. Hey, fair play to you, Tommy. He's not my first choice. I mean, if you do watch the highlights, he does look like a mint player, though, doesn't he? Some of the touches, some of the little flicks, some of the dribbling round players and stuff. And that's all I've really seen of him. I don't watch regular games. I know you watch quite a lot of things like Serie A and other big games live, don't you? But I only really watch the Premier League because I'm a bit of a melter like that. But yeah, you're absolutely spot on there, Tommy. I mean, he's not my first character to get in, character-wise. Plus, like, he does seem a bit of a mercenary. Plus, he seems to just want the most money. You know, happy to play for Galatasaray. That's not a huge football club in terms of, you know, like the big pantheon of great football clubs. They are a big club. But they're not Barca, Bayern, Man United, you know, Liverpool, that sort of size club. He seems to just go where the money's at. So I agree. I'm not I'm not overly enamoured by him. If we could get him on the cheap with one of our players going in the opposite direction, I would definitely consider it, because he does seem like a good player. But there's definitely players way ahead of him for me. I would have 100% Gyokeres before him, 100% Visser before him, 100% Mateta before him as well, even Ollie Watkins probably. So, you know, as much as Osimhen's great, the reason for getting all those players before him is not just necessarily down to talent. It's also, like you say, down to mentality, but also down to money as well. Like Osimhen's a £75 million signing potentially, who wants 350 plus grand a week. That's the difference there. So yeah, he's one of the lower down players for me now, because of the money and because of other options being a better fit and maybe having less financial impact on us, such as, you know, Visser, as we said. Yes, Chris Wood. Is it me? Is the suspicious number of core Liverpool players leaving or not signing contracts? Do they know something about Slot? Interesting, Wayne, where they're signing a lot of other big players. Players talk, mate, players talk. Oh, Mark's lad. Love your comment there, bro. Yeah, we talked about this. The fact that Wilfred Ndidi has a reported £9 million release clause in his contract due to being relegated. A relegation release clause of £9 million. Which means that if you want to trigger that release clause, you can make Wilfred Ndidi technically a United player for £9 million. Okay, he's going to have reasonable wages, etc. But we're talking about a decent Premier League standard player. Look, he's not somebody that's going to turn the fortunes around or set the world alight. You know, he just got relegated end of the day. Maybe he's not quite as potent as he was a couple of years back, but if you'd have asked me a couple of years ago, would I take Wilfred Ndidi for 50 million? I'd have said yes. I'd have definitely said yes. So I think 9 million is a snip, and we should absolutely try and take him if we can. Now, I'd imagine there's lots of other clubs that would like to add him to their squad, and that's all we'd be doing, really, is probably just adding somebody to our squad, another midfielder who can, you know, who can play that sort of 6 role for us, or even the 8 role. But we certainly do need to get like another 6, ideally, don't we? What's Kiwi Chris Wood doing now? Is he still at Notch? Yes, lad. Yes, he is. I mean, I don't see him going anywhere. But again, you know, he's a goal scorer, lad, proven in the Prem there. But no, I don't know. Always just thought of him as a big lummox, like a big Carl Fletcher. I don't mean Carl Fletcher. I mean, I do mean Carl Fletcher. Yeah. Do I mean Carl Fletcher? No, I don't. I mean Steve Fletcher. Remember Steve Fletcher, guys? Bournemouth forward, big old lump. That's sort of what I always imagine Chris Wood like, but he's actually balling out in the Prem, so fair play to him. Piggy, if we're paying in instalments, why can't we do that with other players? I guess we can, but it's also on the selling team, isn't it? Like if Brentford just say, look, nah, sorry, we want 60 mil up front, and that's that, suck an egg. What are you going to do? You know, what are you actually going to do? You kind of have to, you know, you're obviously going to have to pay some teams money up front. I guess we're trying to do that. That could be what is slowing everything down, as we talked about earlier. Still just the actual structure of the money. Vardy would be perfect for you guys, just for depth. I'm with you. I think he'd be a great third choice striker for us. Ivan Toney or Chris Wood. Well, if it wasn't down to the money, then, you know, probably Ivan Toney. But because it is down to the money, I mean, I guess Chris Wood. But neither for me, really. I like Mateta, I like Visser, I like Gyokeres. And I also like Watkins as well, Jamie. Yeah, I do. Jonathan David is a logical choice, but we're dealing with owners who do not have common sense. They would rather battle for the tough ones. I know, it's crazy to me. I agree with you. 25 million for Visser. Yeah, interesting. Vexago might be a little low, but still, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get, do you? By the way, we're going to get into the live chat now for a Q&A. Sorry, I forgot to say, you can repost us on X there. Links at the top of the chat there. I'm just going to shout out everyone that's reposted us. Then I'm going to get raw into the Q&A. We'll do a little rundown of what we've discussed and any breaking news. Let me see if anything news come out from any of the big journos here. No, it doesn't look like it in regards to Manchester United much tonight here on the agenda there. So, yeah, okay, great. Let's get into let's just shout everyone out there real quick, and then we'll get bang into the chat for a proper Q&A here for a little bit, guys. Uno momento, por favores. Okay. Okay, so we've had 10 reposts. Big up to the 10 legends who've shared this one around. Thank you so much for sharing it around, guys. Ruddy Can't Gain. Get in there, my son. Ashley Vogt. Kieran. Sanjay Ramatar. Paul Nangle. Andy Davidge. Terry Hoskins. Francois Cock. And Jarvis Cocker of Tactical Devils. Getting in there raw with the repost. Thank you so much, guys. All of you. Really appreciate you. And speak of the devil and he shall appear. Tactical Devils. Yes, mate. How you doing, lad? Big up, Ali. You what? Welcome in, Tactical Devils, you legend. Me too, I'd take Ndidi as well. Ndidi would strengthen our core. Definitely, I agree with you. It's a no-brainer, really, for that sort of money. I don't think he's going to reinvent the wheel, is he? Jordan Henderson's free? Yeah, there's a reason for that, lad. No, I don't want Henderson. I'd much rather Ndidi over Henderson. As much as I like Henderson's bottle and his character, now come on. He's your next Liverpool scum piece. No, we can't go for him, lad. Yeah, but you're right, Phil Taylor. Ndidi would be an excellent squad filler. Spot on, yep. Really, Kate? Minute-long ads on YouTube now. What, and you can't skip it? Are you mad? That's a disgrace and a nonsense. Roy Keane would be throwing punches at YouTube's representatives if he could. History buff says United fans need to be better research on players. Osman isn't close to being a Sancho, but since media loved hating on him because he wouldn't take shit from De Laurentiis. Well, I heard some business like they posted something racist on their social media accounts and stuff as well. Like, I don't think it's as simple as he wanted to leave Napoli because he got the hump and all this. I think there was some... Yeah, like you say, there was some issues going on there with how he was treated and stuff. But also, you know, what rules him out of me wanting him is it's just the money involved. Who wants to pay another player $350k a week? We've gone over earlier the importance of United getting away from that once Sancho and Rashford and these guys are sold and Cassie's off of our books. We need to start paying players a lot less than, 200,000. That should be our limit, 200,000 for new signings. If they earn a better contract in the future because of great performances, fine. But initially, nobody should be coming in for more than 200,000. That would sort everything out. We save hundreds of thousands a week if we just did that and got rid of the big players on crazy money. Dream team. That's right, Carl Fletcher. Well, there was a midfielder who also played for Bournemouth called Carl Fletcher with a C. That's where I'm getting that mixed up. But anyway. Yes. Get YouTube Premium cake at you tight ass. Stephen, have a great night, you legend. Yeah, that's it. I mean, YouTube Premium is pretty cool, but how much is that? It's like $12.99 these days or something. It's a bit of a rip. But I do have it. I do have YouTube Premium, mate, because I'm always on the YouTube app and stuff, and if I didn't, it would piss me off. Something rotten. Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a free? I don't know. Is he? I don't think he is he? I don't want Dominic Calvert-Lewin anyway, personally. I don't think he's up to the standard that we need. We're supposed to be going for Gyokeres 54 and 52 merchant, or at least Visser scored 19 Premier League goals. I mean, how many did Calvert-Lewin get last season? I don't know. Probably nowhere near that, right? Italian fans known for racist behaviour. Well, Steve, I mean, unfortunately it happens in every league around the world, but it would be foolish to say that it happens the same everywhere, because it doesn't. Because, but then again, no, I'm not saying anything or speaking out of turn, but, like, he went to play for Galatasaray, and isn't Turkish football a little bit like that sometimes as well? So, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, there's certain countries do have a worse record for that. I think Serbia's another one, isn't it? And various countries are, you just have to say, in terms of their footballing support, there's obviously elements in there more so than others. That's the issue. But, yeah, fair enough. That is a problem. That is true. You agree, Piggy? We have big contracts, but then we can't sell them when the time comes. That's it, really. That's it. That's the lesson. That's it. You've just said it in a nutshell, lad. It's basically, that's it. We just give players too much, and it makes them impossible to sell. Look at Sancho, the greedy bastard, at the moment. There's clubs that are interested, good clubs, Napoli and Juve and teams like that. But they can't really afford to pay his salary, and he's probably not prepared to take a pay cut, and we shouldn't be prepared to pay him too much to go and play for somebody else. I know it makes us financial sense maybe to pay like 30%, 40% of his wages as opposed to 100% of his wages. But there's principle involved here. I'd rather just him rot away on the bench for the reserves and helping Doris the tea lady out on Saturday mornings and stuff than than him playing for someone else on the cheap while we pay them to play for him to play for them. Screw that noise. All right, guys. Well, let's get into a couple more comments here anyway. It's getting pretty late. Let's get into a couple more comments. By the way, I am going to be running a giveaway competition, which we're going to draw on the gaming channel. I've still got a couple of people to add to it from when we did this last time. I forwarded you to a video and said, check this out. But basically, I've got I did another Timo Shafter video earlier, and I just want to try and get the numbers up a little bit there. So give us a boost to the algorithm. Everyone who comments on this video in the next sort of like half an hour or so after this will be entered into the giveaway. Don't worry if you've already commented today. Just enter again by commenting again. And don't worry if you've already done that. But here it is. It's a Timo Shafter agent video, guys, trying to sell Garnacho. I put it on there earlier. It would mean the world to me if you gave it a watch, So I do these little funny sketches, or they're trying to be funny anyway. That's not really your call, but they're trying to be funny anyway. I'll say that as it is. But basically, They're just, obviously, they take a long time to do. Several hours of the writing, the filming, all that shite. So please, it's only a few minutes long, so please give it a watch if you could. That'd be much appreciated, you legends. Nice one. And enter into the giveaway by checking out that link pinned at the top of the live chat there and commenting in it at the end of this vid, and you will be entered into the giveaway there. And you might as well smash a like on it and give it a watch as well. Right, nice one. Let's get stuck back into the chat then for a second. Hang on, let me get this live chat popped out here so I can, because for some reason it just closed. Get that link and then I can highlight everyone's comments again. 1 second. Okay. Brilliant. And there it is, my friends. There it is. So let's get stuck into the chat for a little bit then and see what you legends are saying at the end of the show. As always, links are in the description. Give us a follow-up everywhere there and have your say. You already commented. Thank you, Russell Brand. Appreciate that. You're a legend. Hey, you have a great night, Kate Connect. Get that beauty sleep in there, lad. Legend. Have a great night, lad. Come on. You've had a bad day today, so I'm turning in, guys. Oh, Simon, sorry to hear that, mate. Tomorrow will be a better one. Much love to you, Simon, dude. Stay classy. Sancho is a greedy bastard, isn't he? Yeah. That's true, Russell. Is he rotting away if you're paying 100% of the wages? I hear what you're saying. But surely a footballer wants to play football, and it's a punishment, isn't it? End of the day, we're damned if we do and damned if we don't. Perhaps it's better to allow him to leave and pay 30% of his wages. I get that. But it's also a kick in the bollocks, isn't it? Yet we're still trying to bring in 70 million players and give them 200k a week. Yeah, but I get that. You have to compensate these teams, especially in the Premier League, who have good players that we want. Maybe we're paying a little bit more than what they're worth. They're probably both worth more, closer to 50 or 55 million in terms of Cunha and Mbeumo. So we're paying a little bit more, but we have to convince them to sell. But the wages we're paying these players, I think they're fair for big Premier League players. They're not on 350 grand a week. Sancho got 300k coming in from Dortmund. I mean, that's a disgrace. Absolutely insane how entitled they behave. Yep. There you go. Indeed, Steve Barrero. Tommy says Napoli CEO said he'd never sign another player who goes to AC of Nations, Africa Cup of Nations mid-season. He fell out with Osman over it. Then some messages from a group chat got posted online. CEO was called a racist. Right, yeah. So that's the issue there. So it's not really Osman's fault, maybe, why it's broken down with Napoli there and he wanted to leave. But also, he's just not really the right one for me because of his wage demands, mainly. It's not the right look for us right now. Thank you, Robert. Sancho next for Timo. Yeah, that's definitely on the agenda. They are funny. Gave me a good chuckle. Nice one, Russell, lad. You don't care if the players are mercenaries, but at the end of the day, it's a job, not child's play. Yes and no, but with mercenaries, you often just get players who literally, they don't care who they're playing for, do they? They just want to get the money. And will they put in 100% every single game? I'd rather have players who are passionate and are choosing clubs based not just on who's paying the most, but also because of what maybe that club offers to them in terms of legacy or competition and all that sort of stuff. So I feel you, but I would still like for instance, like a player like Matheus Cunha, you could say he's coming for the money, but also I think there's an element of he knows what a huge opportunity it is at United. It's a massive football club. He's been playing for Wolves. He knows how huge United is. So yes, okay, he's come for a bit of money, extra money. It's a lot more money. He probably could have got more money going to Saudi or somewhere. It's not all about that, is it? What was Pogba's agent and Zlatan that got crushed by his own wallet? Oh, was it Mino Raiola? Yeah, Mino Raiola, wasn't it? Bless him. Just back from 28 years later, absolutely epic. Oh, yeah, it was good, was it, Butters? Nice one. Let's go. I'll have to see that soon. Seen Garnacho. Hey, Mdor, what's going on? Seen Garnacho wearing a Villa top. I know that is so absolutely shocking, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, we'll just give you a quick recap then, boss. And then, we'll read a couple more and then we'll probably end it. But let's have a little look. So this is what we've gone over today, if you've just sort of come in here. So in regards to Sancho, Juventus were very much interested in him, but there is no agreement been reached or anything there. Fab this morning saying that Juventus and Napoli cannot reach an agreement on Sancho's wages. Both clubs have no problem paying 25 million to Man United, but wages are a problem. United want the full sale, but interested clubs want a loan, so part of his salary is covered. Right, also, Gyokeres update is just that the door seems open for Ruben Amorim, especially if Sesko is signed by Arsenal. He doesn't end up going there. The door still should be open there for him at United, and Amorim's expected to want him. Let's face it, he's never said no. Gyokeres has never said no to Manchester United, has he? He's just perhaps said the preference being a Champions League club like Arsenal. But he's never said no to United. So obviously kept his options open there. So if it doesn't pan out with Arsenal, we're probably one of the most likely to sign him from that moment on. So that's the latest with Gyokeres. The Rashford situation is, it's expected Barcelona want to offer a simple one-year loan for Rashford due to their focus on signing Nico Williams, and obviously he's on a large salary, and the extra 40 million transfer fee is just unrealistic for Barca at the moment due to them having certain financial restrictions apparently. And obviously they are trying to bring Nico Williams in, so they're looking for Rashford just on a straight loan deal pretty much for a year, maybe covering a reasonable amount of his salary, but probably not even all of it. So again, it's a bit of a disgrace there with Rashi. He's going to be very difficult to sell. Medical next week is reported as well by various outlets. This is Alex Crook, Ben Jacobs saying Bryan Mbeumo's Manchester United medical expected to take place next week. Also, we have the same sort of update there from Marco Alcaraz, who says that new Bryan Mbeumo is expected to fly into Manchester early next week to complete his medical and sign his Manchester United contract. Obviously, early next week is Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday's the 1st of July. That's the day we all sort of think that Man United could maybe officially announce this and get it done. So, yeah, all signs are leading to him flying in early part of next week. Couple of finalisations to make. Rich Fay basically saying this earlier, that United have reached a basic agreement to sign Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford. It's understood United are happy to pay 60 million base fee with add-ons set to take the overall package roughly towards 65 million pounds. The only thing left to do is finalise the payment structure of the 60 million and determine achievable add-ons that both clubs are happy with. And Mbeumo will then be permitted to undergo a medical and complete his media duties as a new signing. So we're expecting, I think, Mbeumo Day on the 1st of July, but obviously we don't know that yet. Fabrizio just said this morning that United are now confident to get Mbeumo deal done after progress, and Mbeumo's pushing for his dream move to Man United. So medical next week there for Mbeumo, and it's expected to be done very, very soon. I'll just have a quick check of the socials, make sure we haven't missed anything that's coming in the last few minutes. What's that? Villarreal, Napoli signed all documents for Rafa Marin. Timothy Weir not in talks. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, nothing here for Man United, no. So there you go. Okay, let's read a couple more out, then we're going to wrap this sucker up. But do us a favour, hit that thumbs up button, help us get to 300 likes on this stream. Also, make sure you smash the subscribe button and stick around and enter the giveaway by commenting on this video we did earlier using the link pinned at the top of the live chat. Right, let's get in there. Newcastle has Nick Pope. Well, I mean, I'd certainly rather Nick Pope over Andre Onana, lad. Will Rashford, Sancho and Antony back for pre-season? Oh, God, I hope not, Jamie. I think it's got to be a key point really for us to try and make sure as little of those melts come back for pre-season as possible. Like in an ideal world, the Sancho deal's wrapped up before then, the Rashford deal's wrapped up before then, the Garnacho deal's wrapped up before then, in an ideal world. But in reality, maybe none of them will be wrapped up before then, so it'd be interesting to see what happens for pre-season, etc. Thank you, Tactical Devils. Yes, do us a favour and smash that like button raw. You know it makes sense. Thank you there, Jarvis lad. Come on. United need perfect free positional players. New Trinity every club has. Good call, good call, good call. You see, it looks like Liverpool have got a few abandoning the ship. Well, they're just signing lots of new players, aren't they? I guess there's just not enough game time and options for everyone there. But, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. There's definitely a new era now with Slot. Be interesting to see if he can keep it going. Obviously came in and did incredible things. Nobody expected him really to do so well. Can he keep it going, though? It's a big question. They could have a drop-off this season, even though they've spent a lot of money. It depends. It feels like a bit of a new era now. Would take Pope as our keeper? Oh, yeah, it definitely would be an improvement. You know, but that's not hard, is it? Get Doris the tea lady in goal with her marigolds on, and she'd probably do a better job. You can see Cunha not getting along with the United board. Oh, I mean, let's not try and, you know, let's not try and manufacture any issues before they happened. You know, I mean, I know what you're saying. Maybe there's a bit of a mentality issue there with Cunha, but certainly on the pitch, you know, he's balling out, lad. Trafford signed for Newcastle. Keeper Pond gets smaller. Yeah, I think the big two we're looking at, Martinez and Diogo Costa. You packed Scotty McTominay 98? No way. Get in there, Vexco. That's who I've been keeping my eye out for, but I haven't got him yet. Matty Smith says, I just hope Cunha doesn't allow his ego to run away from him. He has a reputation of being a bit of a prick. Yeah, we just talked about that. That is an issue, isn't it? Hopefully not, mate. Hopefully we can keep him in check, but yeah, fair one. You need a bit of bollocks, but you don't need somebody who's unprofessional. I don't mind people being passionate, even angry, you know, especially on the pitch. But what I worry about is unprofessionalism off the pitch, you know, undermining managers, posting on social media, all that sort of shit is not what we need right now. Good morning. Thank you, Venny VD. Let's go, lad. Come on. Thank you so much, Jamal Udin. Says, love your channel. You give more time communicating with the chat. Oh, hell yeah, we do. We have a long Q&A at the end of every video, trying to get everyone's comments read out. We do our best anyway. Nice one, Blue Sky. Get in there. How you doing? Hope you're good, pal. Yeah, same to you, dude. How goes it? I'm not too bad. Thanks for asking. Yeah, you know it. You know it makes sense. You know it makes sense. End the madness. Says, sorry about the caps. Oh, United 4th end season, I reckon. Oh, yeah, if we have a really good rest of the window, sell the players we need to sell, generate the money, buy a top striker, buy a top goalkeeper, get Mbeumo done, maybe one or two others, then we could probably start to think about challenging up there. But at the moment, you know, we've got a lot to do. We have to remain somewhat realistic. End of the day, top 7 in European football positions again this season would be a dub. That would be a win. Sancho and Rashford need a bit of reality check instead of listening to the entourages. Absolutely, yeah. As long as he doesn't act like Garnacho and Sancho. Bruno will keep him in check. Portuguese Mafia. Yeah, Tactical Devil says that Atalanta goalkeeper Marco Carnesecchi is close, according to Alfredo Padilla. Yeah, I've seen this link as well. Seems he's one of the players on Amarim's list. But again, you know, it's an interesting one, that one. Yeah, sort of younger option. But again, I don't know. I mean, it feels like a bit of a risk, that one, to me. And compared to like maybe going to get Costa or Martinez, but it's an interesting link. Yeah, I did see that a few days ago, that one. But Alfredo Padilla's saying it's close, interesting. This is the best Manchester United community out there. Thank you, Jamie Riley, you legend. That's why the contracts need amending. Well, I think the idea is over the next couple of windows is try to get everyone gone who should be gone. Like eventually, you know, Mason Mount's probably going to need to be sold if we can get rid of him. Eventually, Casemiro, you know, maybe it'll happen this summer, but in a year's time, he'll probably be leaving. If not, that's hundreds of thousands of pounds a week off the books. Rashi, Sancho, these guys are on mad money. So once they're all gone, it saves a lot of money and we can use it better in the squad, I think. Give Doris the Tea Lady the Goldie Cubs. Yeah, you think Amarim will focus Kuna and him and Mbeumo will be a fucking sensation? I think so too, Wayne. That's a very good one, you know, TK. I do love that one, the old Sharp View Cam bad boy, that one, isn't it? Yeah. I'd say, I don't know, the 98 one maybe. I think it was 98 Sharp one with like the superimposed Old Trafford on it. That was a banger. Definitely don't have a goalkeeper. Yes, we do. Anyway, I've just realised we've been on here for an hour and 23 minutes talking absolute cod shite. Do us a favour, guys. The link that's pinned at the top of the live chat is my latest Timo Schafter transfer agent video. Please do us a favour, go over to that, smash a like on it, give it a watch, and also comment on it in the next half an hour, or anybody, you know, up to 15 minutes ago or whenever I said. Everybody who comments on it will be entered into the giveaway. All you have to do is comment on it, but go and smash a like and give it a watch too. Nice one. And we'll draw the winners on the gaming channel sometime over the weekend, probably tomorrow night or the next night. But you will all be entered, everybody who goes over in there and comments now. And if you commented already, don't worry about that. Just comment again. There it is right there, guys. Nice one, Jamie, Robert, Michael, Arsenal Manic, Russell Bland, all the moderators, people like Tactical Devils, and who else was in here earlier? G-Wolf, happy birthday, and all the legends of the channel, and all the moderators, and all the members. Big up the members in green, like Russell here, and TK, and everyone. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, guys. And everyone who's got in the chat, thanks for interacting with me, you legends. I'll see you all tomorrow, where we'll be discussing all the latest United news. You never know, could be Mbeumo here we go day tomorrow. You just never know. So keep yourself locked on the channel, smash that subscribe, smash that bell icon so you don't miss notifications, hit the likes before you go, and go over and check out my latest Timo Schafter agent video using the link at the top of the chat, or right in there now, and comment to enter the giveaway. Legends, we're going to leave it there, but thank you everyone in the chat here. Big ups. Do us a favour as well. Your links are in the description if you want to check us out and give us a follow on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, or Kick, anywhere there. All the links in the description. That's it from me, guys. It's nearly midnight. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you tomorrow. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.